Oh, hello, everybody. Hi, it's so good to see everyone. How are we doing? Oh my gosh, thank you for all joining me so last minute. And I'm sure some friends will keep popping on. I don't know if Patrice is here, but Patrice, if you're here, or Bonnie, maybe we can tell Patrice, if we want to post on my story to just remind she is here, she's under my name. Maybe we can post on my Instagram story right now and just you can show the Zoom room, let them know we're in here and that they can still join at any point in time. Um, Thanks for all coming so last minute, everyone. We have a really good turnout for an hour's notice, so I'm really, really happy everyone is here. Can everyone hear me okay? Good. Okay, amazing. And it sounds clean, right? I just want to make sure the actual mic's plugged in and it's not like the Zoom mic. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's clean. Okay, cool. Amazing. Great. Love that you're joining from the Stairmaster. Honestly, iconic. That's what I would be doing too. The amount of things I've joined from like walking on my treadmill. Okay, hi everyone. Thanks for coming. This is a very impromptu workshop, but I figured we'd do a quick free workshop kind of situation on something on a topic that I am very passionate about, but don't really often like share too much. So I thought I was inspired to share it. Well, as you know, why on Instagram, we talked about it on there already, but I'll kind of go into that. And then I just have like some things, some tools to really go over to really start to embody our that we can do everything and we can kind of have it all. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to like put yourself in a box. You don't have to think that spirituality means you have to be serious and you don't have to think that like you can only do one or the other. And really a lot of things going on around self-image wise and just embodying like your sexuality, sexual side of you in a way that's balanced, because there is an imbalanced way of doing that as well. But yeah, just we're just gonna dive into some of those things for fun. I'm also gonna record this and we will just put this on the podcast. So you'll get to hear the recording again if you want on the podcast. Okay. First of all, thanks everyone for coming. Welcome to our free workshop. Doesn't have a name. I just decided we were doing it literally today. So maybe by the end we'll find a fun name for it. If anyone has any ideas, you can type them in the chat. But essentially, what inspired this slut camp? I knew someone was gonna say that. I knew someone was gonna say slut camp. This could be like an intro to slut camp. At my Glow Formula retreat, I made a joke. I was like, you guys, next retreat's gonna be slut camp. So you just wait. So intro to slut camp is what we can name this one. Okay, amazing. So what inspired this random workshop was that I was obviously on my bachelorette, which, everyone knows about because your girl was posting every 5 minutes. But I realized I thought it was 2,000 followers, but it turns out I did math really wrong, like really bad. But I lost between like 200 to 300 followers. And it wasn't really I didn't really feel anything from it. I was just like an observant, like, oh, that's interesting. Like, huh, like that's interesting that the weekend in 3 days that I'm posting content that's like, you know, kind of off topic of what I'm usually posting. I lose like 200 to 300 followers. And I'm like, that's interesting. Like people know it's a bachelorette. They know it's like it's one weekend of your life. It's not like all of a sudden my content's not gonna go back to what it's been, right? It's very normal to have a bachelorette. Most people have a bachelorette. Most people make videos on a bachelorette. Most people dance at a bachelorette, right? So it's like all very normal things. So it was super interesting to me. And when I started to, one thing I do is I will read the energy of our community. So I'll read the energy of our community. I'll read into like what everyone needs right now because I really really care about you guys and want to make sure that I'm always giving what you need. So I'll read into that energy. I'll read into the energy of what's going on in their minds when I'm posting something. Like, are they confused by what I'm saying? Because if you're confused, I can already feel it and see it, and then I can better go explain it in the next video, or I can make a workshop about it or a podcast about it, right? So I always like to read into the energy of the community. So when I read into the energy of why those unfollows happened. A few things were coming up. There was a lot of triggers from people of it's this conditioning, and it's nobody's fault, but it's this conditioning we have of we can only be one thing, right? So who here has felt that, like, if you even if you teach something that's spiritual or some kind of, you're a therapist, you're helping people or whatever it is, maybe you feel like, or you're even in the corporate world, maybe you feel like, oh, I have to be serious or else people won't take me seriously, right? Or I have to just have this one thing. If I'm spiritual, like, I can't be shaking my ass on a yacht, or I can't be seen in a video with like alcohol in the background, whether I'm drinking it or not, right? Like, it's it's like this very, like, I have to be in a box, or like I can't be in the matrix. And that I have a whole thing, a whole tangent to go off on of the matrix thing, and I can't be in the matrix because feeling like you need to escape the matrix and you can't get out is the matrix has one, and then you're still in the fucking matrix if you're constantly feeling like I need to escape the matrix. You are very much still in the matrix if that's how you feel. So I felt a little bit of that too, like, oh, I didn't think she was like that. I didn't think she was in the Matrix or whatever it was, right? So I felt some of that. I also felt, I also felt there was this disconnect of feeling like you can have it all, like feeling like, oh, I can be this way and then I can be this way and I can have fun with my friends and then I can, have be really serious in my career over here. That was triggering some people. Then what was also coming up was some stuff around like sexuality and women being in touch just like with wanting to dance or wanting to just express themselves or wanting to dress up and stand in a Barbie box or whatever it was, right? And and there was a hard time when I looked into the collective of people connecting the dots of like, okay, how is this girl teaching, you know, some serious stuff and teaching neuroscience and laws of the universe and intuition and being quote spiritual, and then how is she also like subscribing to like the basic bitch thing of putting hair, makeup, outfits and standing in a Barbie box and doing all that. And that was also triggering to people because the only thing that happens is they just haven't they've been conditioned to not learn how to express all parts of themselves and love all parts of themselves and not make one thing mean something about themselves. You know what I mean? And not put labels on themselves. So when I looked into the collective of like why that happened, that's kind of what I saw. So I'm not mad at anybody, but I wanted to kind of dive into all those things because I think all those things are things that affects us some way, somehow, right? Obviously, you guys are here, so no one here is mad at me for standing in a Barbie box and taking photos, but I think this affects us somewhere, somehow in life, right? Like there's some part in our life where we feel like, oh, I can express that side of myself, right? There's somewhere in our life where we feel like, oh, maybe I can't do that thing because that's not spiritual or that's not, what I don't know, it's my guru would do or whatever it is, right? So I think that's exactly how I feel. Yeah, yeah, there's parts of ourselves, whether it was, triggered by me standing in a Barbie box or not, it maybe was totally something else, but we all have that. And I've had that so many times. I had for so long, like me even 2, 3 years ago, probably wouldn't have posted that stuff because I would literally be so worried about people looking at me as like a dumb blonde or like not taking me seriously or feeling like, oh, I have to show up a certain way or else people aren't going to see me as gifted or talented or someone who can help you fix whatever it is or be a teacher. And I had the same thing. Like I would have been really insecure about it. And so in some way, shape, or form, I feel like we all have that, whether it's, you're with your partner in a relationship and maybe you want to dance in front of them or express in front of them, but all of a sudden you feel like closed off and you can't move your body and you can't express the way you normally do. Maybe you're with your girlfriend sometimes and you're like feeling so free, but then you get in front of your partner and you're like choking on your words and your like body, all of a sudden you're fucking paralyzed. You don't know how to even like walk properly. That used to happen to me very much. I was a professional dancer and could dance and perform anything, but the second you put me in front of like a boyfriend or even at like a dance party or like not that I went to clubs really, but if I was at a club or whatever to freestyle, like you would think I never danced a day in my life. I remember my first masculine and feminine embodiment retreat I ever went to. I was the most awkward fucking person on planet Earth there. Like it was it was really weird. Like it was they had the guys line up and then they had the girls on the other side and they had like the girls doing like movement and stuff for the men. Honestly, probably not how I would hold one of those retreats because that can be very vulnerable. But anyway, I was there and I was a match to be there and feel awkward. And so I remember like all these other girls who were seasoned in this kind of practice, like this was my first one ever, were like just all feeling it, shaking their ass, like just really into themselves, like super sensual dancing. And I remember literally it was like I never danced a day in my life. Like you would think this bitch, how the fuck was this bitch ever a pro dancer? Because I don't see it. And that's kind of like I was so stiff. And Justin was there because we went together. This was our first one we went to together, like 3 years ago. And I remember being so awkward, so embarrassed, so mortified, and that like memory then stuck with me. And then kept programming how my physical body would respond in those kind of situations. So somewhere, somehow, this is triggering us in some way of life, right? Like whether it was, if you guys are probably here right now, you probably aren't too mad at me, but this is probably happening somewhere, somehow in your life, right? So I was inspired by this to do a workshop on it, because I just really don't want anyone to feel like that. Like even if someone's mad at me for doing that, like I don't want them to feel that way. And so maybe if they ever come back around and they hear this, like maybe it will help them. But either way, wherever this is showing up for you in your life, whether it's putting yourself in a box, whether it's feeling like you can't fully express yourself somatically, physically, or verbally, right? The goal is to really get you some tools and just some kind of clicks and realizations today to kind of help you express more in your life and notice reflections more too. And what's really cool about when you have something like we're talking about emotional mastery a lot right now, right? So what's really cool when you have something like that is even if you were to get triggered, like even to the people who unfollowed who were triggered, they probably did themselves a big disservice by unfollowing, not because it's me, but let's say it was someone else having a bachelorette and they unfollowed them, right? They did themselves a big disservice unfollowing them because that trigger was here to elevate them. That trigger was here to push them into new levels of themselves that they are asking for, that their higher self is ready to create. But what happens is the ego can come in and the triggers can take over, and you're like, fuck this bitch, unfollow. But what happens is you're pushing away your growth. So, for example, I did this one time. Um, I don't know if you guys know who Amanda Francis is, but she is a teacher of like the energy and frequency of money. And she was kind of like my gateway to learning about the energy and frequency of money years and years and years and years and years ago. Like I found her pretty early on. And I remember I started following her, and I got so triggered by her, like so beyond triggered by her because I was jealous, obviously, right? Like I wanted the lifestyle that she had, but I was so mad at her, like not because of anything. It was my own projection because I was like subconsciously jealous of like, fuck, like I want that life, right? But I knew enough and I had my emotional mastery tools, not all of them then, but some of them then, enough to be like, oh, wait, I'm triggered by her because it's just showing me that I can have what she has and more and make it my own and have it the way that I want to have it, right? In the ways that I would want to have it. Because I didn't want exactly like her life, but that I liked a lot of aspects of it, right? I was inspired by it. So so I could have unfollowed her, right? And then probably prolonged my work around money and finances for a very, very long time, and then still kept myself in the same broke, lack mindset and just been triggered by people who have figured it out. Or I could have stayed following her, which I did, and let her trigger me so much so to the point where it was so annoying that I had to fix it in myself because I didn't want to be triggered anymore. And then I was able to start to really implement like all the foundational stuff around money that she teaches. And that was kind of like the gateway drug to then going into all the other things about money that I've gone into as well. And she has so much incredible information about it and an incredible book about it too. But like that is what kind of kickstarted the learning about finances for me. And if I would have unfollowed her when I got triggered, I would have never got the financial like growth from her. And then the next levels I took after that that have gotten me to be where I'm at today, which is making millions of dollars before I'm 30 years young. So when we get triggered, the best emotional mastery thing we can do for ourselves is see that person as the biggest teacher right now, right? And so instead of projecting, we've got to start to go, how do I feel like they're being? And where am I being that way? Or in this case, where maybe do I feel mad at myself for not being more of that way, right? And we really want to start to look at that in ourselves because what emotional mastery can do for you is get you growing on new levels way, way, way quicker than you were to ever grow without it. Like everyone who just unfollowed, they just did themselves a massive disservice. Again, not because it's me, it could have been anyone that they unfollowed they were mad at, right? Anyone that they would unfollow who they're mad at, they just did themselves a massive disservice because they are now missing out on that push to grow, work through their trigger, and then access that new potential. Like if someone was mad of like, why does she think that she can go, shake her ass on a yacht when she should be online and showing up and just teaching all day and being serious? Okay, maybe what that tells me is maybe you're not allowing yourself to have enough fun in life. Maybe you feel like you need to stay in a box or else people won't take you seriously. Maybe you feel like you can't embody and tap into your feminine energy because there's a wound around men, right? And that is what we want to start to look into and do for ourselves. And we're going to touch on like the way more step-by-step tools and processes on how to do that in the Unbothered workshop, which by the way is so soon. It's fucking on Thursday already, which is wild. It's like not that far away. So if you're not in there, get the fuck in there because we're doing it. Side note, what we're going to do after that is not a big course, but we are going to do a full day event over Zoom where it's like a full day event of 2 hour blocked workshops where we're working through my 8 step process to emotional mastery, communication, and how to spot manipulation when they're really good manipulators, and how to not get manipulated by, the media, by people, that kind of thing. So anyway, that's a side note. Coming back. So there are step-by-step processes to not let your triggers just control you. But the first step out of the 8 steps that I want to give you today is first we have to identify what it is we're actually feeling, right? Because even if we most time we don't know what we're feeling. Like maybe you would say, "Oh, they were jealous." There's something underneath that jealousy though, right? So yeah, maybe they were jealous, but why? Like what's underneath that? Because if you're saying they were jealous, you're going to like kind of like the surface of the emotion, but we want to get to the root of the emotion. If you're trying to heal and shift the surface of the emotion, you're going to it's kind of like if you pull out a weed but you don't get the root, right? It'll grow back. So we want to pull out the root of the emotion so it doesn't grow back. So we got to start to ask ourselves, what is underneath the jealousy, right? Oh, maybe I don't feel like I am allowing myself to fully have fun in my life. Okay, why? Why? Then there's even something underneath that, right? Playing the why game with yourself. Why am I not allowing myself to fully have fun? Oh, maybe it's because I feel like people won't take me seriously. Under that, why don't I feel like people would take me seriously? Oh, maybe it's because I don't take myself seriously. Okay, interesting. Where don't I take myself seriously? Oh, I don't take myself seriously in career. Okay, so I don't take myself seriously in career, and I'm not putting in all the effort that I could be putting into in like my soul pull, what I really want to be doing. Okay, so I'm not jealous that she's whatever on it, doing whatever on her bachelorette, right? I'm actually, the root of all of this is I'm actually not taking myself seriously in my career. Ding, ding, ding. Oh my God, I got to the root cause. Oh my God, thank you, person who just triggered me. You just were my biggest fucking teacher in this moment, and you just helped me access and unlock a new level of myself. Now you're no longer fucking mad at them. Now your trigger's gone, right? So it's either be triggered. And then what's funny though is you can't run away from your triggers. So you can they can unfollow me all they want, but it'll pop up somewhere else. It'll pop up closer to them too. At least you can choose to not look at my Instagram, right? It'll get closer and closer and just start popping up in their face in their house every single day, right? That's what happens. We can't run away from our triggers. So what we can do though is we can get to the bottom of it. Most of us don't know what emotions we're feeling. And we'll get to like how to actually understand that in Unbothered, what emotions the root. But number one, and here's where you can start, it's a foundational step, is you can play the why game with yourself until you get down to the root, right? And then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not taking myself seriously in career because I'm not putting in as much effort as I could. I'm not, sharing as much as I actually want to because I feel like I'm not good enough. Okay, so I feel like I'm not good enough in career. Okay, now let's work through that. Now you're giving yourself this massive gift to up level you because what do you think happens when we work through that? And I want to hear it in the chat. Tell me, what do you think happens once we work through that? What happens in our career then when we work through something like that? Let me see what you guys think in the chat. Let's see here. It skyrockets. Yep, it grows. Uh-huh. Yep, you level up, it advances. Yeah, give specific examples of how career could level up in that case. Like if you start to take yourself seriously in career, what's the ripple effect of that? If you start to feel like what you have to say is good enough in career, what's the ripple effect of that? Other people take you seriously, more money, more people, more impact. You guys are fucking elite. Yes, build your own business. Yep, people actually see you and resonate with you. Yes. Clients that come back, people commenting that you're incredible. Yes. Clients that take you serious, more impact. Other people take you seriously. People booking, more money, more people impacted. Yep. Really, really good. Amazing, you guys. Reaching more people, loyal community. Yes. And if anyone sees my name typing in here, that's Patrice from Team Alley. I'm not also typing. That'd be a really cool talent though of me if I could talk in here and say something totally different here at the same time. Um, referrals, highly dedicated investments made. Totally. You guys are so fucking elite. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So now knowing all those things can happen, are you mad at the person who triggered you anymore? Or are you so fucking happy that that happened? Let me know in the comments. That person who triggered you now just made you more money, more clients, more success in your career. Yeah, you're fucking grateful. Exactly. Exactly. Right. And then boom, now you have made your emotions your fucking bitch. You have made people your bitch. You have made fucking life your bitch because you did not let life rock you. Right? You took it and you saw it as your biggest teacher and you saw it as your biggest gift to help you up level, right? Going back to my story about Amanda Francis, right? I like ended up getting so grateful for her. And I think I one time sent her a DM a few years ago of like, thank you so much. And I told her my story. And I'm like, thank you so much for showing up as yourself and being unapologetically yourself, because it really was the foundation and gateway to me, like really realizing, oh my God, I can do that. Right. So I still think of her to this day, even when I am posting things that maybe aren't having to fully do with like teaching something, right? Or stories that are teaching something, because I feel like if I show up unapologetically as myself, that gives permission to everyone else to do the same, right? And if it triggers you in any way, that's good, right? I'm I'm at the point where I literally don't care if I trigger people. I'm actually happy if I do. If you do a one-on-one session with me, I probably trigger you most of the session because I am pulling up things that are going to be triggering because it's like the deepest parts of us that we're not looking at, but it's going to be the most impactful to shift, right? So I'm actually here. My number one goal is to trigger that in you, but then, talk you through it in a nice way and help you on to the other side. But that's a goal of mine, is to awaken that part in you that is that biggest blocker, right? So So if I can show up as like that version of me and just unapologetically myself, that starts to give permission to everyone else to do the same. Now, when you get mad at that, if you get mad at that, with anyone, doesn't have to be with me, but that's good, right? It's showing you maybe a part of your life, an area of your life where you're not doing that. So we want to take away the surface level emotions and we want to get beneath what's the actual emotion, right? Yeah, you're mad, but like what's underneath that? And how do we remind me, how do we find the root? We think, oh, we're mad. Okay, what's underneath that though? What do we do to find the root? What's like the process? Good, the why game. Really good. Yes. Ask the why. Exactly. Exactly. So that's really important. Step one of the 8-step process to emotional mastery. We'll go over the rest of the 8 steps in Unbothered, but I want you to start there because I want you to really master that one first before we go into the next steps. You guys are really, really elite and advanced in here, so I have no worries about you mastering this really quick. You do it way faster than I ever did. Like, trust me, my emotional mastery took way, way fucking longer than yours will or is. I was quite a stubborn egg. um, we've mostly moved past that though, for the most part. Okay, so next point that I wanted to make that I feel like can everyone can also benefit from in their own way of life, in their own way, is that you know how everyone is like the matrix, like get out of the matrix, get out of the matrix. Literally, no. If you are constantly living your life trying to get out of the matrix has fucking won. The matrix won, you lost. You lost to the fucking matrix because you know what you're doing? You're thinking about the matrix, right? It's like if you break up with someone and you're let's say someone breaks up with you, right? And you're constantly now let's go this scenario. Someone cheats on you, okay? And you're constantly trying to get back at them. It's 3 years later, they've moved on. They're not even fucking thinking about you, right? But 3 years later, you're still like, oh, can I egg their house? Like, can I post this video? Maybe they'll see this one. Maybe I'll date this person because they're hotter and then I'll post them and then they're going to see that person and they're going to still feel bad. They don't give a fuck. They're 3 years out. They're doing something else. They're not thinking about you. They fucking won. You lost because you're thinking about them, right? Right? So the Matrix, if you're constantly thinking about the fucking Matrix, you've lost because you're constantly thinking about the fucking Matrix and how to get out of it. You know how to get out of it is you stay in it, but you just know you're in it and then you just like know how to hack it, right? You just know how to hack the system. You don't run away from it, right? If you run away from something, you've lost. If you're in a battle for a fucking soccer game and you forfeit the game because you don't want to be a part of it because you don't like the other team, well, the other team just fucking won because you forfeited the game, right? So if you are trying to escape the matrix and run away from it, the matrix fucking won and it did its job because it got you out of your purpose and it got you out of your potential. Because then what happens is there's a spiritual matrix. What do you think the spiritual matrix is? What are your ideas? I want to hear of the spiritual matrix. Put them in the comments. Oh, that's a good one. Good one. Looking down on people who aren't spiritual, thinking you're better. Such a good one. Yeah. Major religion. Totally. Yep. Yeah. But stay positive all the time. Totally. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Hating your parents is such a spiritual matrix. Yeah. Yeah. Love and light, spiritual bypassing, not enjoying human things. So good. So good. New age. Yeah, totally. You guys are so fucking elite. Not expressing emotions or suppress them. Totally. The woke stuff. Yeah, totally. All these things are spiritual matrix things. Can't go anywhere because you're so sensitive. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a yeah. Yep, can't do anything because you're sensitive. Can't live life. I got a few DMs of like, "Oh my gosh, like not mean or anything, but like asking, "How did you go to that country dance bar? Like how did you?" I'm like, "Because I have tools, because I can shield my energy and because I can Like there's tools for that. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a victim to life just because you're sensitive to energy and you have that gift, right? Hallucinogens to awaken. One of my favorite things to talk about in the spiritual matrix. Yes. You can't wear a thong and dance on a yacht and still be a spiritual teacher. Yes, spiritual matrix. Um, Great. Were you doing it to the whole group to make sure everyone was safe? Yeah, I have a pretty strong shield at this point. So, and it goes about 700 feet outside of wherever I am. So it would mostly encompass everyone, but most of the group there also shields themselves and stuff and has the tools. So it was good. Um, okay, great. Really, really good spiritual matrix things. Yes. So we have the matrix, which, we all know about. Then we have the spiritual matrix, which a lot of people get stuck in. And the spiritual matrix is that I have to in order to be spiritual, I cannot have fun too much. I have to kind of like I can't be in my feminine energy really. Like I kind of got to be like very, very, very just, I don't know even the word, but like stiff kind of comes to mind. You know what I mean? Just like stiff, kind of like a little bit of a stick up my ass, like stiff, just in this energy of I can't express fully or else I won't be taken seriously, right? It's also it's also like I can't go and do human things. I can't go, yeah, always having to be deep and profound. Yeah, like sometimes I just want to talk about like I don't know what your favorite sex position is. I don't fucking know. Sometimes you just want to talk about whatever, right? And or just laugh about silly things that make no sense. I actually prefer to do that in most social settings and situations, right? Because that's a big area of life is like passion and hobby and fun. And I went on a yoga retreat and my guru told me I couldn't wear anything but white. Yeah, stuff like that. It's like it just doesn't make sense. Like you don't need to do that. You know what I mean? It's not something that like it's not going to do anything. Honestly, you can wear black and you're going to just get as much healing as if you wore white. So, it's that kind of stuff that you need anything outside of you to be or to not be spiritual, right? Or like someone asked me how many hours or how many minutes a day I meditate. And I was like, I don't lay down and meditate. My meditation is just right now, right? In my everyday life. Like I neutralize my emotions. I balance myself out. I look at my reflections in the moment as we go and as it comes around. That's a good one. Having to be vegan to be spiritual. Again, literally no. Animals, their soul, it's in their soul contract to have that like it helps them fulfill their soul contract and they come back with more soul points. So there's a lot of things that just are like fucked, honestly. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Let's see this one. I had an energy coach back in the day who said we had to use her room spray, which was expensive. Obviously stopped working with her. Yeah, like yeah, totally. Stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. Um, why do I also think people think you can't curse and be spiritual? I don't even know. I mean, we're on a podcast right now that's called Unfuck Yourself, so that's out the window for me. Um, yeah, it's a lot of just weird shit that like makes no sense, but it gets us all. And it got me at one point. Like there was one point where I was like, I I can't even go on like go have fun even on a date with a man that I had no interest in maybe being a husband one day. Like in my early 20s, I really suffocated myself from just like having fun on dates or just like having fun going out to a bar. Whether I just didn't really want to drink, but like I would have had fun just going out, dressing up in a cute outfit, like dancing. I would have had so much fun with that in those scenarios. Or just like in my younger 20s, just like when I was single, like flirting with guys or like in a fun, cute way, right? And there was so much suppression that I had of that because I was like, no, I need to be spiritual. Like, no one will take me seriously. Well, it's because I didn't take myself seriously. And I was like, oh my God, if no one's going to take a 23-year-old seriously, so I have to act like, I'm fucking 60, right? So there was a lot of things that I suppressed myself for. I remember one time going to like I lived in Toluca Lake in Los Angeles, if anyone knows Toluca Lake. Fucking love that place. Anyway, there was a bar there called Foreman's, I think it was called. Was it Foreman's? Foreman's, I think. And it was like really chill, low key. Yeah. Oh my God. Hey, Nicole. It was a really chill, low key bar. And I remember I was like 23 and I was there with like a few friends. I was embarrassed to be there. Like I wasn't doing anything embarrassed. I was literally just there. Like, but I was embarrassed to be there. And I felt self-conscious of like, what if somebody sees me here and they're gonna think that I'm like that I'm drinking or and then they're not gonna like want my help and all these things. Like, even if I was drinking, like I never was going like on a rager or a banger or a whatever they call it, right? And I wasn't even like drinking anyway. So anyway, I was just always so self-conscious, and that is the spiritual matrix of am I doing what a spiritual person would do? And it's like, no, are you doing what Allie would do? Are you doing what Rebecca's highest alignment of herself would do? Are you doing what Jenna's highest alignment of herself would do? Are you doing what Holly's highest alignment of herself would do? Are you doing what Anthony's alignment of his higher self would do? Right? Like hey, he's like, hey, are you doing what Maria's higher self would do? Right? Like, are we doing what my highest alignment of my version of myself would do? Right. And the highest version of myself is dancing on a yacht because I love to dance, right? If you came to the Glow Retreat, you know we were dancing a lot. And dancing is very somatic and healing for you. It puts you in your feminine energy. It helps you express. It's so good for so many reasons. The amount of creative ideas I had after that retreat, oh my God, felt like a retreat. After that bachelorette skyrocketed, right? So that's another thing we really have to remind ourselves. And the spiritual matrix and the matrix is one big just fucking brainwash over you. And we're going to be talking a lot about brainwashing in the Unbothered workshop, how to know you're being brainwashed and how to get out of it. And not brainwashing like the obvious brainwashing, like narcissistic stuff and manipulation stuff, because all you guys are so advanced, you obviously know that already. But the brainwashing that doesn't sound like brainwashing, the brainwashing that sounds like it's helping you, but it's actually like a wolf in sheep's clothing, that's what we're going to be really diving into, how to know you're being under mass manipulation and how to kind of get out of it. Um, Also, the vegan obligation, if you're a yoga teacher, makes no sense. Literally makes no sense. Judging being bougie, yep, that's good. Or loving earning money is another. Yep, totally. Or like even feeling like you have next retreat on a yacht. Literally, yes, please. Good idea, actually. I'm gonna look into that. Somebody tell COO Sarah. Um, Oh gosh, train of thought. You guys are so funny in the comments. Like, I gotta get out of here, else I keep looking at them and I keep wanting to talk about what you're saying. Train of thought, going back. Yeah, even oh no, I was saying something that I wanted to say. Let's see here. Oh, it was around judging being bougie and like loving to earn money and that kind of thing. Or feeling like I need to get out of the matrix. I need to go into the woods or the jungle and meditate in the forest and not talk to anybody. And well, that's not going to save you because one of my favorite stories to tell is from my Unfuck Yourself Academy a few years ago. You probably heard me tell this story before, but I'm going to tell it again. The second round of Unfuck Yourself Academy, we had a queen in there who loved always hearing her questions every week. She always had such good questions. But at this time, we did Q&As every other week. Yes, the girl with the bugs. Yes. We did Q&A every other week in Unfuck Yourself Academy. She raised her hand one day and she goes, Allie, I don't know what I'm doing fucking wrong. She was like, I've cut everyone out of my life. I don't talk to my parents. I haven't even left my apartment in 2 weeks. And I've been meditating in here all day long and journaling. And she's like, but now there's bugs in my house. They're everywhere and I can't get rid of them. And she's like, I was so annoyed by everyone that I just blocked them out and I'm in my house. But now there's bugs in my house. She's like, literally, why? And I'm like, well, because you can't outrun your reflections and you can't outrun the matrix and you can't outrun your problems. So if you're blocking everyone out and all your annoyances, the annoyances will find you and it will manifest in little flies in your house. And she was like, "Oh, that makes sense." Oh yes, Patrick, you were in that Q&A. Um, so so you just can't outrun it. And so the spiritual matrix thing of like, I have to go on all these things and run away from it, that's not going to help you. The real practice is life. And I even say it on my retreats. Retreats is great. My courses are great. Podcasts are great. But what's really great is when you take what you learn there and implement them into your life, or else it's never going to do shit. Literally, I tell people that who come to my retreats, I'm like, it's great you're here, but this won't do shit for you unless you take it with you and implement it into your life and remember to practice it, right? So that can be a spiritual matrix thing too. If I need to always be going on these things, I need to run away. I need to go into the woods. I need to go to the forest. I need to go to nature. I need to go do all these things to like feel something or figure my life out. You can figure your life out in the middle of a bar dancing to country music. You can figure your life out riding mechanical bull. You can figure your life out, in the middle of a fire in Miami, right? Like not that there was a fire in Miami, but that's what came to my head. You can figure your life out literally anywhere, anytime. And the best way you're going to actually get ideas and figure your life out is being creative, is doing the things that you actually feel called to do, not what you think you need to do. That's a big one. How you're going to figure your shit out is doing things that you feel called to do, not what you feel like you need to do. How many times has someone in here gone, "Oh, I got to really work on my career or my business. Let me go sit down and stare at my laptop and see what happens." Who here has done that? Who here has gotten ideas from doing that? Anyone? Anyone got their $1 billion idea from doing that? Nope. Yeah, no, me either. Never got a $1 billion idea from doing that. Cricket. Patrice goes crickets. Who here, though, when they have had fun or they have gone and done something they want, or they've worked out, or they've moved their body, or they had the girls' weekend with their friends, or they went on the date with the guy who maybe wasn't their husband, but they felt like they were a good match for, the time being, right? Who who has then came out with like a good idea, whether it was just a TikTok video or maybe a new idea or maybe a new thing to write on their resume, right? Figured out my whole life on a girls' night. Literally perfect. Literally love it. Spin bike bathtub. Oh, great, great places for ideas. My most creative ideas for your marketing have come when I go on long walks listening to my favorite music. Yes, music in the car or walks, great fucking idea. My best performing TikToks were ideas I had when I was having fun or doing something totally different. Yes, yes. I got an intuitive hit to check my email from you and I didn't listen, so I missed UIA Q&A. There we go. That happens when we don't listen to our intuition. Always been most intuitive on walks, low key when I do dishes or when driving. Totally, yes. Literally, yes. So again, showers, good. You're not going to find, you know, people really telling you, um, oh, you're going to go do this to build your business, right? Go dance with your friends on a fun night or have a game night with your friends to build your business. No one's going to tell you that, right? So you think, oh, to build my business, I need or grow in my career, I need to sit my ass down, look at my laptop and make something happen. I'm going to save you now, right now. You will never make something happen by doing that. Unless you're coming to your laptop with an idea you already have and you're going to implement it, different. But if you're trying to get an idea by sitting down at your laptop, not going to fucking happen. Energy needs to move. We need to be moving. We need to do somatic things and move the energy through us, and the best ideas will come. Then we can sit down and implement them. And obviously, we're going to have to do that, right? Or we can sit down and like figure out how it's going to fully work, obviously. But the ideas, guarantee you, will not come if you walk your ass into your office and sit down and stare at your laptop and try and force yourself to have your next $1 billion idea or million view TikTok, right? So that's another one too, is we want to get out of the spiritual matrix. And you are probably we're all in it in so many ways that we're not even realizing, down to things like even women, right? We women actually we don't have to go through menopause. It's an emotional root cause, right? It's an emotional thing that causes menopause. Menopause isn't supposed to happen. Just like how your emotions can cause cancer, our emotions cause menopause. SJ Coaching Queen is like, oh, my whole life has been changed. No, literally, right? It is. You don't have to go through menopause. It's a matrix thing, right? The mind fuck that happens to women, and this is what I'm talking about, is what we're gonna uncover in Unbothered, is we're getting manipulated. We don't even fucking know it, right? What's happening is women are being noted, I will not be going through menopause. No, we will not be. Not fucking me, bitches. Um, women be are conditioned to think that as they quote age, they are less and less useful. Well, the more you feel less and less useful, the more you feel like you can't create. Well, what's ovulation? It's creation. Well, the more you feel like you can't create, the more you are going to build on that. And over years and years and years of time, around 40, 50, 60 years old, those emotions add up, they stack up, they stack up, they stack up. And what happens is they overflow now into your physical body. Now you're going through menopause, all because you were manipulated by the media, the world, right? They have a grip on women, and we're getting manipulated every fucking day. And you're putting it on and you're going, I don't want to age. This is for anti-aging. You're literally making yourself fucking age more. Anything anti, you doing it, you're putting the energy for it to happen. Anti rallies for things, anti Trump rallies, anti Biden rallies, anti rallies for anything. You're doing the opposite of what you think you're doing. You're putting more energy toward the thing actually happening. Anti, because of the law of opposing forces, you're now going to be for. It's like the energy that gets created. So if you're, that's how the spirit, not just the matrix, that's how you get manipulated, right? So this is taking a turn of a workshop, but I don't care. I like where we're going with this. So this is what happens when I just, wing it. Um, which I usually always do anyway. So what happens is, um, if you're seeing something anti-aging cream, now you're putting on your anti-aging cream. I'm doing this so I don't age. Well, there is a law of the universe called the law of avoidance. And so whatever you start to avoid and try and avoid, you're going to create way faster. So if you're trying to avoid aging and you're putting on anti-aging, I'm doing this so I don't age. I'm afraid I'm going to age, so I'm putting this on. Well, now you have, I'm aging, I'm aging, I'm aging. I need things because I'm aging. Well, you're creating aging. These are just one of the many, 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 many ways that you are getting manipulated in the world and you don't even fucking know it. So, again, in Unbothered and in the day-long event that Unbothered is a prereq to, we will be diving into how to know and pinpoint exactly how that's happening. But just start to, first step of that, out of my other step process of figuring that out, which is I think is around like a 6-step process. Um, my first step of that one would be start to just like question fucking everything anyone says. Like online, in the media, start to just be like, wait, is that really actually real? Does the media actually care about me? Do they have my best interest? If they have my best interest, why are they always feeding me bad news? Right? If you had a friend who came over and every time they came over, they were just telling you bad shit, do you think that they have your best interest? No. So then why do we listen to the media? Huh, great question. Let's ask ourselves that maybe, right? So start to question things that you're seeing, right? So anything that's you're doing that's anti something, all you're doing is helping the energy to grow that thing more. So that's why any kind of protest or rally is actually doing the opposite of what you think it's doing. So anytime you're anti, you're literally just creating more of it because what we focus on, we get more of, right? And the law of so many laws at play, the law of focus, the law of opposing forces, the law of avoidance. There's so many laws at play here that it's doing the opposite. And we'll dive way more into that in Unbothered, but because we're kind of going off track here of like my original intention for this, but I'm not mad about it. But just start to catch those things of what's happening. Okay, I'm sorry to break it to you with laser hair removal. Unfortunately, it's really I'm so sorry. And I hate this for me too, because I used to get it. Um, it's really what's it called? Radiation. Lots of radiation in the laser. And so it's not good to have that much radiation. Well, fuck. I know. I've done it before too, before I figured that out. Um, I know it's so sad. It's really sad. What can we do instead then? Shave your legs. I don't know. Shave them. There's probably nothing's impossible. You can probably do some kind of healing to like not grow leg hair and stuff, but I've had bigger fish to fry, honestly. Like maybe I'll figure that out one day, but other things are more important to me than figuring out a healing for that. I'm sure there is a way to energetically remove unwanted body hair. Um, Again, I just have had bigger fish to fry, and there's more important things that I feel like doing right now. But you know, I've talked about energetic boob jobs. I wouldn't be shocked if one day we go to energetic laser hair removal. It's possible. Most things are. Um, okay, let me get back on track here. We do need a body talks too, for sure. For sure. Um, okay, so kind of circling it back, there was one more thing too that I could feel people's thoughts of watching along who unfollowed. And that was, this was a really funny one. And this will apply to everyone because you're probably self-conscious about something in your life, right? Whether it's making TikToks or not. Um, was, oh my gosh, like, why was she making so many TikToks at her bachelorette? Like, just enjoy the moment, just hang out and enjoy the moment. And I get it, right? But also at the same time, if you intuitively looked in, I live my best days making TikToks. Like that, like those fun TikToks like that. I was the kid growing up who did performances for their parents, like really bad ones, but like performances for their parents. I grew up dancing. I love to be on stage. I dancing, right? I grew up taking videos of myself. Me and my friends would make little skits and take videos of them. Who here has done that, right? And so I just always love to make videos and make content that's just fun like that. I've always done that since I've been little. Since I've been 3 years old, 4 years old, I would steal my mom's camcorder. You know, remember those big ass camcorders that were like so fucking heavy you could barely carry them on your shoulder? I would make her set it up on my living room table in my like small ass little townhouse living room that I grew up in. And I would put on my little princess glitter heels, who remembers those, and my little like blue eyeshadow. And I would put on my Glinda the Good Witch Halloween costume that I would always love to wear. And I would make a performance on the fucking camcorder. I would make my parents watch it over and over again, show it to my grandma when she came over, you know? So I was always doing that. And so when I'm with my friends, like that's a fun thing that I just love to do because it's genuinely fun for me. And there was a point in time where I would get self-conscious of that. I would be like, "Oh my God, what are these people going to think? Like, are the people on the airplane going to think I'm like conceited? Are they going to think that all I do is care about myself? Are they going to think that I'm just like some dumb influencer?" Not that influencers are dumb. They actually work very, very, very fucking hard. It's not easy to be one. Um, but right, that would be like the process that's running in my head. Like, are they going to think I'm like too full of myself? Are they going to think I'm not being present? Are they going to think I'm forcing my friends to do this? Are my friends going to think that I don't want to hang out with them and I'm forcing them to do this and I don't care to actually be here with them? I'm just using them for a TikTok, right? And I would let all these things get in my head and it would stop me from actually doing what I wanted to do, which was make a fucking video, which was make the thing, right? So that's something that we can all relate to too, right? If I would have because I can hear people's thoughts so fucking easily. So I could hear people's thoughts from wherever they were in the world as I was posting the TikToks at my bachelorette. If I would have let that get to me, I would have stopped myself from having fun doing what I naturally wanted to do, being myself, to then do what makes someone else happy because I didn't post a TikTok that they don't have to watch if they don't want to. Right? Like you can choose not to fucking watch it. Like I don't need anyone to watch it. I am making it because it's literally fun for me and I'm posting it for whoever it is that it might also be fun for. If no one watches it, I also don't care. But my point is who here has maybe suppressed something that they wanted to do or say or be or express because of worries or fears of someone else? Let me know in the comments and let me know maybe some examples. I would love to hear them. Everyone's like, me. Yeah, we all do, right? And it's another like thing that we get programmed to do. And again, that's an emotional mastery thing that you can learn to work through, that we will learn to work through in Unbothered. It's like feeling that scary feeling and then working yourself through it in the moment so you can take the action you want to take anyway, right? It versus not doing it because of something that you are fearing and then having the regret later. I knew I would regret not making those TikToks. You only have one bachelorette. I had so many fun, cute ideas, so many TikToks saved that I wanted to like recreate and copy. And I would have been so sad if I didn't get to like make those and have fun. That is my version of fun. Like, if you asked me to just make fun TikToks 24/7 all day, like I would do it with you. You know, anyone who came up to me was like, Ali, let's do this TikTok. I will never be mad about it. Like what we were talking about years ago, I would have gotten really, really insecure of doing what I felt pulled to do and called to do because of either whether it was being able to hear other people's thoughts or whether it was worried about what people would think. Who here has had that experience and who here has let that stop you? And then you regretted it like a week later because you're like, fuck, why didn't I just do the thing that I wanted to do? I want to hear stories about it in the comments. Let me know. I want like specific stories. I want to get the tea. Wait, I love everyone's talking about just I love that. Being sober for 2 years, that's so good. I've wanted to post on YouTube for years and I still haven't done it. Totally. Yep. I stopped working with horses because it wasn't a professional job. Mm-hmm. Not letting myself show up on stories and talk about random stuff. Always overthinking it. Yep. I felt the influencer pull for years and talk myself out every time. Yep. Going through that now. I know I have to be seen on social for my up level, but it's hard. Totally. Not saying something in a group. Setting out a fear of judgment. I stay silent when Barber was doing my hair wrong. It could totally. Oh my God, who has hated their like hair and nails at one point and you just don't say anything? And it's like, literally, why? Like, it's not that hard to say something, right? So, what happened was in looking at the collective who had the unfollows, right? It was like this trigger was the emotional root cause of the trigger was she's allowing herself to do things regardless of what other people think. And so that's pointing to I'm not allowing myself to do things regardless of what other people think. And I'm keeping myself trapped because of the opinions of other people, right? So we all have that at somewhere in our life. And again, what happens is our emotions take over and they all encompass it. And then we actually stop ourselves from doing what we want to do. And then we pay the price for it later. And then we have the regret later. We have to deal with our ugly nails later or a haircut we don't like later, right? Or the bigger things, right? There could be really big things. Maybe you even fucking marry somebody because you don't want to tell them you don't want to marry them anymore, right? I don't know. And then maybe you have to deal with it 10, 20, 30 years down the road. People are like, oh shit, right? I know you have to deal with, or you're going on a vacation with your friend and now that you don't really want to go on vacation with, but now you have to deal with it for the next 2 weeks on vacation or whatever it is. And then you end up suffering. So when we get triggered by people, fully doing the things that they want to do, it's only because there's somewhere in our life we're not doing the things we want to do because of the fear of what somebody else will think or say or do or being cringy or whatever it is. And again, the emotional mastery, where the emotional mastery comes in with that is when you have that feeling come up, like we were flying on the plane to go to my bachelorette and we were not people's biggest fans, I'll tell you that. Like that, it was the wrong crowd on that plane for us. We flew on JSX, which is like a semi-private plane. It's a lot of like business people who like travel a lot, who are just going from one place to another, what an easy airport experience. And I think there's like 20 seats total, and we took up about like six or seven of the seats. So we took up almost half of the plane. And of course, we're on the way to a bachelorette. Like, we're girls. The girls are girling. I'm making TikTok videos. I have the big ass fucking flash light clip thing in my face and everyone's face for the TikToks. We're not there's just two rows of seats, so we're just seated like one in a row. Emma and Georgia are like two people away from us. My sister's back here. So, I'm having to go through the aisles to get them in the videos. Emma walks down the aisles like shaking her ass in front of the camera for the TikTok. I mean, we're being annoying for sure, right? But, people can either ignore us or find it funny and cute or, get over it is my motto. And if I'm on a plane and someone's doing that, I probably will think it's funny. Like, I literally don't care. So I even had the thought come up of like, oh my gosh, like, should I not do this because I don't want to interrupt people? And it wasn't to the point where like I was actually doing anything that was actually interrupting them. It would be like if they looked at me, then they would know I was doing something. But if they weren't looking at me, I wasn't like actually in their face or interrupting anyone. So it wasn't to the point where like you're actually being maybe like disrespectful or rude. You wouldn't know what I was doing unless you were looking at me, right? So you can choose to not to not look at me and look at what I'm doing. So, but I had thoughts come up of, oh my gosh, like, should I not do this? And I was like, Allie, but you want to make fun TikToks on the plane ride to your bachelorette. So that's what you should do. Like, as long as you're not like flashing the light in someone's eyes or putting them in the video and they don't want to be in it, like, you're literally cool, you're fine, do it. So, how many times and that was an emotional mastery piece that I talked myself through the emotion in the moment, right? Whereas before, I would let that emotion take over, not do what I want, then end up getting the sore throat because I didn't express myself, or end up feeling asthma in my lungs because I didn't take up space and do what I wanted to do, or felt like I was being held back, or just sitting with like that regret of, oh, I didn't do or get what I wanted to do or get in that moment. So, how many times have we done that and still do that? And when we can learn to pull in that emotional mastery piece in the moment is when it's the most important. We can stop ourselves in our own tracks and actually reprogram our neural pathways to do something different. And once again, that's part of the 8-step process that we do in emotional mastery in the Unbothered workshop, and we'll continue to do in the day-long event. But I want you to start with thinking about all of step one is start with all the times that you want to do something but you don't, and why. And I want you to get to the root of why. Like, play the why game again. The first why you get is not going to be the root of the why. So start to play, like we talked about in the beginning, that why game. Get down to the root cause, and you can start to talk yourself out of your spiral emotionally that's going to stop you from doing the things you want in the moment. Okay. We've gone over a lot today. I feel like let's keep it there. Re-listen to this 3, 4, 5 times. Our brain only absorbs 20 minutes of the information we hear in an hour. So we have been here over an hour. Your brain has probably only actually absorbed about 20 minutes of it. Literally, not because of anything other than like our brains literally just actually can't absorb any more than 20 minutes of what we hear in an hour. And the thing we got most emotional about today is the thing we're going to remember the most. Like, emotional, it could be excited or it clicked something in you. So go re-listen. You're going to hear new things each time. Re-listen about 3 or 4 more times. You'll start to make new clicks. And we are going to put this recording on the podcast too, so you can re-listen to it there. I'm recording this on here on the camera, so we'll send it out to the email list. You can watch it anytime too if you want to watch it, but you also can listen to it on the podcast. We'll get it up there for you in the next few days. And I will, the Unbothered workshop is on Thursday. So I will be live with you in there, which is very exciting. And I will be live with you in the live event. That's a full day long that follows the Unbothered workshop. That's June 7th, I believe, or yeah, June 7th. So thank you for joining me last minute. We had such a good turnout for just an hour's notice. I'm so honored that you guys are all here. I really, really want the best for you, and I want you to fully be able to express your full authentic selves because you deserve it. You guys are all so, so beautiful and bright and such incredible souls, and it's an honor to be in a room with every single one of you. So thank you for joining me. I'm really humbled by it. And you guys are so much more elite than ever was and doing things way quicker than me. So thank you for coming. I'm really excited for you. And DM me. I want to know like any cool realizations or updates or anything that you've had even from here today. I love to hear it. So I will see you guys soon. And thank you everyone for coming. Bye, everybody. I'll see you guys soon.